You may recall that before the German elections last month, I said that any outcome that will result in the Green Party being part of the new coalition government should be viewed as a negative for Germany and for Europe. My reasoning was that the Greens' open war on fossil fuels and against Russia over the past 3 years has driven up energy prices for Germany, thus making German manufacturing uncompetitive. This has been the main factor behind Germany's economic stagnation. For a few days after the election, it looked like the Greens would soon lose their influence on German policymaking. The fact that the BSW, a far-left party, fell just short of the 5% electoral threshold meant that CDU, CSU, and SPD would have enough seats to form a coalition government without the Greens. Then, the CDU, CSU, and SPD decided this week to submit a motion to the outgoing parliament next week to amend the German constitution that would allow defense expenditure above 1% of GDP to be exempt from debt brake rules. But for this motion to pass, it would need a two-thirds majority in the Bundestag. With the AfD, the Left Party, and the FDP very likely to vote against the motion will require the full support of the Greens to succeed. I think it is safe to assume that the Greens will exact a high price for its support. Before the election, Friedrich Merz, the leader of the CDU, vowed to build 50 gas-fired power plants to lower energy prices in Germany. It is safe to assume that a big part of the 500 billion euro spending program on infrastructure that he announced earlier this week involves revolving fossil fuel as a major energy source. I suspect he will be forced to scale back his ambition in order to buy the support from the Greens to increase defense spending. The German election has strengthened the Russia hawks in Germany. This will likely prolong the war in Ukraine, as more German money will be going into Ukraine to keep Kiev in the fight. This is setting Germany and Europe on a collision course with Trump, who is determined to end the war quickly. One likely consequence is that Europe will be less willing to cut a deal with Trump to avoid an all-out trade war. DAX is trading at an all-time high. All I see in my crystal ball is a prolonged war in Ukraine, trade war with the U.S., and continued high relative energy prices.